Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Bama versus the World. I am your host, Big Mike, and it is rivalry week. It is Iron Bowl week, the one we've been waiting for all season long. Obviously, it is Alabama versus Auburn. We will get into it. We are joined, as always, by Mr. Bama. Mr. Bama, coming on in. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastically splendid on this beautiful Friday evening, Mike. Had a good Thanksgiving meal with the family, the kids. Watched a lot of football. Had a few beverages, good food. Feeling good. Feeling good about tomorrow. How are you doing, Mike?
And I'm doing great. Kind of the same. Had a great meal. Spent some time with family. Ready for this game on Iron Bowl Eve.
Yep.
With that being said, let's bring in our guest. As you guys know, the format of the show, we talk to a representative from Mr. Bama here, and we also have a representative from that other school. We are joined by Mr. Auburn.
Where's he at?
Who I'm not sure. Apparently, according to his tagline, needs to borrow some cash.
I'm here. I'm here.
Are you going to show your face?
Just given everything that's happened, I prefer people don't know who I am. It's a little embarrassing around here right now. So,
but we know your name is Mr. Auburn, so we know who you are.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all anybody needs to know. I'd rather not show my face. It's pretty embarrassing to be an Auburn fan right now. So I'm good, just like this. Thank you.
All right.
So we will move on with the show. Starting off as we normally do, Mr. Bema, coming off of a big win against a very inferior opponent, oddly enough, Chattanooga.
Hey, you know what? Winning big against inferior opponents is overrated. I just like to throw that out there. Sometimes you got to let the lesser guys have their moment to shine.
Yep,
that's all I'm saying. Not that it pertains to anything in particular. I'm just throwing that out there.
Okay, I could kind of venture what that's about, but we will continue on, Mr. Bema.
Don't read between the lines, Mr. Mike. Don't read between the lines. I'm not talking about anything in particular.
Hey, let Mike host the show. Calm down, Mr. Awful.
We will get right into it, Mr. Bema. What are you guys looking forward to coming to the game on Saturday?
I'm looking for Milroe to kind of get rid of his pregame jitters. It's going to be his first big game starting in Jordan Hare. We all know that things can get kind of weird and wacky there. I'm looking for us to remain consistent on offense and defense. I'm looking forward to a good passing game too. Wouldn't mind about 250, 300 yards passing if we get there. If we have to run the ball, I'm fine with that too.
Hey, Mr. Bama, I heard you guys gave out $600K last week. Y'all got any of that left over, or what's that situation like?
We're doing just fine, and we take care of our opponents, and we compensate them for letting us pound them. You guys kind of did the opposite.
So if we came to play you guys this weekend instead of y'all came to play us, what kind of figures are we talking? What can we?
We'll probably give you guys $20 to $30.
20 to 30.
Or gas.
Is that cash up front?
You're a bigger school, so I don't know how much you need. I mean, you guys are out here trying to recruit like we are.
You don't know how much I need.
Well, we do, because it says down there you need 1.85 billion. So I can see that, but unfortunately, you are still obligated by the SEC. I'm sure they give you guys a lot of money, a lot more than that 1.85 million that you gave.
Mike, do you know what we just went to this weekend?
I did. I saw
a school to beat up on us. It was like we were in some bondage event and nobody knew the safe word. It was ridiculous. I gotta get out of this.
I mean, I'm not trying to throw even more shade, but that same team that beat you by 21 is now an underdog to Jacksonville State University.
Wow, Mike, you think I care? Mike, how much do you get paid for hosting this? And would you be open to a little bit of a loan? What are we talking here, Mike?
Look, I got you, Mr. Auburn. Obviously, you are being compensated for being on the show.
We get paid?
Not necessarily in dollars.
I thought I was forced to be here, just like I was forced to play. And I don't know what that was. Our team was very discombobulated last week. We had a leaky defense out there. Oh my God, it was just ridiculous. Their receivers, there was a logjam of their receivers trying to get the ball and run the ball.
It was New Mexico State, and you guys were at home. You should have won.
It was the entire state of New Mexico, though. Do you understand what that means? You guys played one little city last week. We played an entire state. You don't know what pain we went through.
I wish I could see your pain.
I do remember Louisiana Monroe about 15 years ago, 13 years ago, somewhere in there.
If you're going to tell me we're going to win 6 championships in the next, 15 years,
Not
then
quite
this
saying.
pain will all be worth it.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't think you haven't won 6 championships so far in the 100 and so years you've been a program.
Right.
So I don't know that that's going to come in the next
lost to
15
Louisiana
years.
Monroe, he had won a national championship and he had been to the NFL. Our guy
Nick
was coming from
Saban has
Liberty.
more championships than your entire program.
Our guy was coming from Liberty. I just don't think it's the same.
That's very true. But let's stick to the game. Mr. Auburn, is there anything after last week that you're looking forward to coming this week into the Iron Bowl with Alabama coming to? And I do want to ask. I heard Mr. Bama mention, is it Jordan Hare? I've heard it pronounced a lot of different ways, and I'm just trying to educate myself in your ways.
Well, you're an Alabama fan, so there's really no way to educate you at this point. You're pretty much a lost cause if you're an Alabama fan. But anyway, like I was saying, we've been praying to Auburn Jesus all week, so I expect some craziness. I expect a touchdown to happen after bouncing off a couple people's helmets. It's the 10th anniversary of the kick six, so I expect you guys to not even attempt any field goals for fear of retribution. So I figure we're still going to win this game no matter what happened. I'm more interested in recouping the money from last week. Alabama doesn't scare me.
Okay.
Alabama does not scare you. So one good way is to go to a bowl game to get your money. What's your record, Mr. Auburn? Are you guys eligible for a bowl game?
We'll probably save on travel fees by just headed to the Birmingham Bowl. So we'll probably make a couple thousand on that game. So we'll be a little bit short of the 1.8 mil that we need, but every little bit helps.
All right, there we go. I didn't get a whole lot of analysis for the actual game, but Mr. Auburn does sound confident that he is, that their team is going to win. Well, that's
because we've got trick plays galore. We've got stuff you haven't seen all year. We've been holding back. Alabama's going to get the full fury of Auburn. I'm predicting us to win this game 32 to 1.
Okay. 32. Did you say they're 32 to 1?
32 to 1?
I was just seeing if you were actually listening there, Mike, because you were trying to cut me off. So about my 1.85 million. If either one of you guys
Mr. Auburn, how about you just stop talking?
Look, if we always try to save predictions for last. Although I don't know if that was a joke prediction because I don't know. It's not baseball. I don't know how you get 1 point. But we do try to save the actual predictions for the end of the show. But I did have another question for both of you, and we will go back to Mr. Bama since you've done 90% of the talking so far. Mr. Bama, speaking of your opponent, is there anything other than obviously the atmosphere of the stadium that worries you about this weekend and the opponent coming up, the actual opponent?
Actually, no. To be honest with you, not with them on both sides of the ball. They look pretty terrible this year. They've had a few decent games, but for the most part, nothing really scares me. I know they got like a two-headed monster at quarterback, but neither of those guys are really that talented, to be honest with you. So their team doesn't scare me. It's just the fact that we're playing at their stadium and weird things happen there. That's it. That's the only thing that's making me nervous.
It's definitely understandable. You heard Mr. Auburn rattle off a few of those, bouncing off of helmets, kick sixes, all things of the like. Switching over to Mr. Auburn, what is the one thing about your opponent, Mr. Auburn, as in Bama, coming to your stadium that you are most focused on coming into the game?
I guess locker combinations, how much money they bring in, if we can distract them enough in the first, second quarters to maybe rob them. What cars anyone drives in case they drive to the game, how much those would be worth at an auction, that sort of situation.
We're not Colorado.
Many of the players wear jewelry. What are their NIL deals? Those are the kind of things we're looking at.
With that being said, where were you a couple weeks ago during the USC and Colorado game? I guess I have to ask that for legal purposes. Do you have an alibi for that game? I don't.
My lawyer has advised me that we not comment. So
okay, that's probably smart. That's a fair point. I don't know how much more you're paying.
I'd also like to point out when that game happened, we weren't actually down 1.85 million, and a loss. So,
Oh my gosh, this dude here.
I understand that. We will get to that part of the show. I kind of alluded to it from Mr. Auburn. We will start with the opponent on this as we usually do. Mr. Auburn, what is your actual score prediction for the game, not 32-1, because we all know that's impossible.
Right.
Us, the good guys, the broke guys, 31, Alabama 6.
And there you have it, 31-6, a prediction from Mr. Auburn, thinking that the Tigers are going to win this Saturday. Mr. Bama, what's your opinion? What do you think the score will be this Saturday of the game?
Simply because it's on the road, I'm going to give them a few scores, but I think Alabama takes it 35-14. I think especially the second half when we come out, I think we're just going to lay the hammer down and just annihilate them. So I'm going to say 35-14.
How much is said hammer worth to you, by the way? Just ballpark figure.
Not $1.85 million.
No, it is not a golden hammer.
It's not Thor's hammer. Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I got distracted by the hammer talk. What was your actual score prediction, Mr. Bama?
35-14, Bama.
35-14. Well, there you have it. Both Mr. Auburn and Mr. Bama think their team will score in the 30s and hold the other team a lot less, 14-6. So the only way to find out is to tune in tomorrow, 2:30 for the Iron Bowl, Alabama versus Auburn. Hopefully you guys have a great Saturday. And as always, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
I need some money.